Hi students. Today I'm going to show you 3 different ways of drawing an ice cream cone. I'm going to put one here, here, and here. And they're each going to be drawn in a cone. Today I'm not showing you how to draw them in a cup or a dish. If you want to color these and cut them out after you're done, they would look good, maybe glued down on a colorful piece of paper. If you draw them all on the same page and you want to keep them that way, that would look really great too. There's a whole bunch of different ways that you could present this drawing when you are done. I also want to say that as I draw, I'm drawing in Sharpie and I might make a mistake. But I'm going to enjoy the process of drawing. Even if I make mistakes, it's not a big deal. I'm still going to like having fun as I draw my ice cream cones. The first ice cream cone that I'm going to draw is right here. I'm going to start with the cone. I'm going to come down with 2 sides of the cone, parallel, and then I'm going to connect it with a slightly dipped down line. Now for the bottom, I'm going to taper these 2 lines in a little bit. So come down and in, come down and in, and then another curved line for the bottom. I'm going to add a couple details to this cone. I'm going to put 2 kind of concentric lines there. And then when I crisscross the bottom, instead of going straight, I'm going to use a little bit of what we call cross contouring. I'm going to show the shape of the cone with the curve of my line. You don't have to do this. You can go straight across in a crisscrossing if you want to. I'm just going to curve it a little bit. And I'm trying to keep them, pretty equidistant from each other. Now, when I do the Softserve scoops, I'm going to start by lifting my first line up just a little bit. I'm going to start up here. Let me see if I can make a little dot that you can see. Not touching the cone. And I'm going to curve in a big open shape. I'm going to bring this down to here, and I'm going to bring this to here. And notice they both bowed out a little bit to the sides. Now I can go back and start here and bring this up again, and then this down to here, my first 2. Now for the next one, I'm going to start by making a curve from here to here, and this is just sort of a little fun flourish. It's not actually necessary, so if you leave it out, it's fine. And then I'm going to make what I would consider like a wave shape. So I can come up here and come down for the top of my wave, and then come back over for the top. Now, some people like to add these lines through it to kind of show that it's got, how do I explain it, like those edges from when it gets, pushed out of the machine, and it might look something like that. Okay, here's your next one. Your next one's going to be in a cone that is a point at the bottom. So I'm going to start with the same shape for the beginning of it, and then come down in a big V. Same thing with this. I'm going to use a curve crisscross back and forth, equally spaced. And then I'm going to do something similar to this, except I'm going to soften it just a little bit. So I'm going to start on this side, come up and do a sweep. You don't want to go too far past this, or you'd have to make it too lopsided. You want to kind of leave it lined up to there. And then a little curved down. Another one. Notice I brought it in a little bit. They're going to kind of taper to a soft top. And then the last one's just going to be a soft little top, like that. Once again, if you want those lines through it, they follow the shape of your scoop. Now for the last one, I'm going to have one of those waffle cones that folds over on itself. So I'm going to start with the scoop of ice cream because it's not soft serve. And so I'm going to have the contoured edge hanging over. And then I'm going to start with the irregular edge of the waffle cone and then add the cone details. So first is the bottom of the scoop of ice cream. This can be, if you think of like a tiny bumpy line, the same kind of line you would use to make a cloud, but tighter little bumps. And then you want to have a nice curve up here to connect the two. So up and back down. And then it doesn't really have to stop there. This can sort of have extra curve to it there. Now, this irregular edge to the waffle cone is going to come from under the ice cream and also stop under the ice cream because the shape of the waffle cone is going to be beneath it. So I've got this sort of soft curve down, and now I want to make sure that I keep this edge of the waffle cone inside this because this has overlapped that. So I'm going to go from here and stay on the inside of this line. Don't go out here. Now continue down from here to the bottom of your cone, nice soft bottom, and then down here for the other part. For this type of cone, because they overlap and they don't connect in this way, these two crisscrosses should be independent of each other. So I'm going to curve this one. Then I'm going to curve this one. Okay. Now, if you're adding things like sprinkles, cherries, drips, toppings, etc., have a lot of fun. When I do sprinkles, they tend to just look like this. But there's a whole bunch of different ways to do it. You can color it. Like I said, you can cut it out. You can have a ton of fun with how you display these. And I will see you again soon for more drawings.